Who is that guy for the Bulls that was supposed to be the second coming? Rose, Derrick Rose, is that his name?
Yeah, D Rose.
He was a guy who was just elite, and I think he's actually kind of played a little bit the last few years. But
He
it's like his
has, yeah.
body just failed him and his career fizzled
Mhm.
out. I'm almost concerned that a similar thing's going to happen to Klay. I'm hopping right into the CSN rundown. Andrew Bartline, Ryan Pettit, Blake Gurney here with you. CJ Elleby got drafted. Wow, I think that's the first time we've seen a Coug drafted, not even high, I think really at all, probably in a while. Who's the last guy? Probably Thompson.
It was Klay Thompson. I was looking that up last night. So yeah, LB 46th overall. It's so cool to see him go to the closest NBA team we have to Pullman, man. It's pretty cool to see.
It's kind of weird. Like, I want to be a Blazers fan really bad, not only because like I have friends and family in Portland, but I don't know, just like the Sonics leaving. It's like this weird, like, I'm a Blazers fan until the Sonics come back, and then I'm gonna have to hate them again, you know?
Yeah, I think that's about a lot of us can go along with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You guys saw Malachi Flynn got drafted too, right?
Yeah.
Where'd he end up going?
Toronto.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Toronto Raptor.
How high did he go? Was he a first round guy?
The first round guy, I think it was 29th, 27th.
Yeah, I think he was 29.
Yeah.
Crazy I was shocked.
Crazy to think, like, I hate to bring up Ernie Kent here, but I mean, you're telling me Ernie Kent had two guys going to the NBA and he could not put anything together with those guys.
I think he recruited both of them too. It's not like he just stumbled upon them. I'm pretty sure like he's the guy who sought them out, and he hired Ed Haskins for Elleby. Now, I don't have this officially on record, but I'm almost positive that Ed Haskins was hired to recruit CJ Elleby.
Yeah, so, he was hard to recruit. He was required to recruit the west side of Washington. Can you get those Seattle kids? Can you get those Tacoma kids, those kids from Federal Way, so they could come play basketball in the Palouse?
And then he did, and they sucked, or the team sucked rather, and not them specifically. It was just bad years under Kent. Nonetheless, though, Kyle Smith, sticking with basketball, he, I guess, got a positive COVID test. I haven't looked too far into it. I think I just saw a report from Theo at the Spokesman.
Yeah, so it came out yesterday. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, he's not going to be able to coach for the first game, I think, on the 25th.
Yeah, he's going to missing that opener against Texas Southern next Wednesday, which is really a killer. But, I mean, hopefully the boys can just come out. It is Texas Southern. I think they started like 0-10 last year, something crazy like that. But hopefully the boys can just come out and play hard. You got a lot of the young recruits coming in there. So I'm excited to see how those guys really show out and play, particularly looking at the rise of Noah Williams with Elleby being gone, and also looking at what guys like Bonton and Rodman can do.
Yeah, Pettit, I'm curious what you think. Bonton, we've had a lot of conversations about Bonton. He's like, I remember I used to go to church as a kid, and there was that juice they would give us afterwards that was like kind of sweet, but not really. So like you thought you liked it, but you also thought you didn't like it. I like Bonton, but sometimes I don't. But I know that I do. It's weird. It's almost like I think turnovers is my biggest problem. And obviously people get better with time. But I remember last year there were a couple times, like the end of that Arizona State game. I'm like, dude, if anybody other than CJ Elleby is holding this basketball in the last minute, I'm gonna lose it. I'm curious. Bonton's gonna have to be a guy who leads it.
Yeah, he how I kind of looked at it is he's someone that you need to be able to rely on, and you need them to like have the confidence to stay hot. Where I know we know some guys playing even just rec basketball, they're just going to keep shooting. And if they just keep missing, they're just going to keep missing. And if you're like, okay, you need to like take a break, they're like, no, I'm not coming out. I feel like that's kind of how Bonton is. And it's a bummer with the turnovers. I get, you got to keep shooting. You can't just stop shooting. You got to keep getting in that rhythm again. But the turnovers is what is painful to watch.
Well, hopefully what he's learned after, a year in Smith's system, he's going to come in, being a senior, being a leader, coming from junior college, hopefully he comes in and kind of takes more of that role. Like, hey, I don't need to make the play every time as running the point. Like I need to be a distributor at times and then know when to pick those shots, because we're a lot better when he's picking his best shots, taking it to the basket, and really minimizing those turnovers is going to be key for him this season.
Yeah, I almost think that Smith's coaching staff is almost like the Patriots back in the day when they couldn't lose if you paid them, where it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who's playing slot. And honestly, it doesn't even matter who the tight end is. They're just going to win just because the system's so good. I almost think that Kyle Smith's coaching staff from top to bottom is just such a finely tuned machine that if he's going to miss a couple games and sit out, it really doesn't matter. Obviously, you need him for the overall picture. Like, he's what makes it work. So that's why he's the head coach. But if he's going to be gone a little bit, I actually don't think it's going to matter too much. I think the whole coaching staff, top to bottom, like, understands the system in and out in terms of, you know, there's assistants that do nothing but track stats every practice, all practice. I think they know what they're doing without him.
Nerd ball for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not too concerned about it. What I am concerned about, though, Klay's hurt again.
Dude.
What have you guys seen about that? So I saw last night that he was hurt. They didn't really have an official report on it. There were some theories or ideas what it might be. It sounds like they officially got word from the doctors or health officials today that it's a torn Achilles. Is that right?
Yes, it is. That's the word that I saw as well, just through like my various sources of information. And talk about a devastating blow. You know, a guy coming off of, you know, a torn ACL in the NBA finals, comes back, shoots the 2 free throws, have him just work his tail off all year to get back to play. And man, that's just devastating.
Is that like what is that, like 6-month injury or 6-month recovery?
It really varies, but I mean, you see people, I mean, usually for them to get back, I mean, to play 9 months usually, I mean, maybe a full year, and that's not even with like confidence for them to like go all out sometimes too. It's tough stuff.
Especially with that knee injury too.
God.
I'm almost starting to think, not to be, you know, morbid and the sky's falling, but who is that guy for the Bulls that was supposed to be the second coming? Derrick Rose, is that his name?
Yeah, D Rose.
He was a guy who was just elite, and I think he's actually kind of played a little bit the last few years. But it's his body just failed him and his career fizzled out. I'm almost concerned that a similar thing's going to happen to Klay, where he has several great years left, but his body might just fail him. Like back-to-back injuries like this does not just happen. You know, you don't just bounce back from that. Like, it's different now.
No, and those are two severe injuries, like you were saying. And Ryan, I forgot to ask last time, did you mean how long is the Achilles recovery or the ACL recovery?
The Achilles, yeah, not the ACL.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't
I
sure.
don't even know the difference.
I was talking about the ACL last one, but
yeah,
man, but like you said, just two really tough injuries back to back. You're hoping he can still stay that form and hopefully come back when he can and when he's healthy. But gosh, man, that's got to be a blow to the system. So I know, like, my thoughts and prayers are going out to Klay and his family, man. That's tough stuff.
You know, I don't want to be that guy though. But like, the NBA kind of needed to be checked a little bit. I think the Warriors were going to come back and just mop everybody again.
Well, particularly with the arrival of James Wiseman too.
Nobody's touching the Warriors. Like, they won the title before the season even started. It's just how it is.
Well, then, like I was saying, like with the arrival of James Wiseman from Memphis last night, guy who was going to be the #1 overall pick, possibly even coming out of high school, you know, he had all that weird stuff at Memphis, and now it's just like, man, you add Klay Thompson to that team, it's going to be scary. But like I said, hopefully he's still able to recover. Sucks, but man, hopefully he can still get back out there and be healthy.
Yeah, I think it'll work out for him. I just don't know if he's going to be the same player, because I don't think you can be the same player. Like, he's going to have to change what he does, because there's so much value to him offensively, you know, catch and shoot. I think he scored like 30 points one time off like 6 dribbles, something crazy, ridiculous like that. But defensively, like, his value comes on both sides of the court, which is such a bizarre thing to say in the NBA.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be the same player defensively. Like, you just can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think he can do the same things he was doing before. He's getting older, 2 back-to-back injuries. I mean, how many months is that, just trying to get your body to work properly again? Like, that takes a toll mentally ted So,
was it same leg? Does anyone know?
I was wondering the same thing.
Anyone know same leg? I don't know. I feel like it would be better. I think it'd be better to be same leg, to be honest. Obviously not a good injury to have, but it's better than
but you wouldn't want to have like one on each, like something on each side to worry about. That way he could still like focus on the rehab of that. Because you'd be like, oh, the knee's getting healthier
Like,
here, and now it's just developing
this
that
is my
Achilles
good
after.
side.
Yeah.
Make sure to pass it over here. This is my good side.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Speaking of good sides, we are the good side. We play Stanford this week. Bad guys. It's hard trying to make Stanford the bad guys. It's hard to hate them, but I'll find a way to do it.
Absolutely.
So Stanford's 0-2. They suck. I don't think Stanford has won a football game in over a calendar year. I mean,
is that true at this point in time?
The last 12 months, rather.
Yeah,
last time they won a football game was like October of last season. Like, they're terrible.
Did they fall that hard at the second half of last season? Sheesh.
I'm almost positive. Korea, who writes for us, he just turned a story, and I skimmed it, admittedly, didn't really read it verbatim. But I think there was a line in there in his story where he said, like, Stanford's lost like 6 in a row dating back to last year. Like, I think they lost their last 4.
Gosh.
So
that'll be, I don't know, that creates, I think it's a really good opportunity for Rolo and company to come out and really get a big dub on Saturday. You know, you're hoping Delora and the boys can get back on track. Hopefully the defense can stiffen up a little bit. That Oregon read option really killed us towards the end of the game. But, you know, looking at Stanford got smacked by Oregon. And, you know, we were really in that game. We were in the game in the fourth quarter. We just couldn't make the stops when we needed to.
Yeah. If I had $1 every time I read that book.
Anybody know the spread on the game?
I think Korea had it at 2.5, Stanford favored. And I think that's pretty typical. If you're the home team, you usually get a field goal no matter what. So I think they're kind of viewing it as a straight up. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not going to say I am or I'm not, because like there's laws in the state we live in. I'm shoving all my chips in Washington State. I think we're going to beat them like by 2 touchdowns. I think we're going to beat Stanford comfortably. I think there's going to be a scare in there, but I think Stanford's going to kind of do what we did against Oregon, where you have to go all out for a turnover in the 4th. They're not going to get it, and there's going to be a breakaway touchdown, and we're going to win comfortably with like 5 minutes left. I'm
excited.
I think that's a BS spread. I'd take that any day. 2.5, Stanford favored.
Yeah. That'd be nice. This would be our 5th win over them in the last 5 years.
Do you know when the last time that happened?
1964.
Yeah, and you know when WSU played their home games at?
Joe Elleby.
Yeah, it's been a long time, which is weird. Like, I know we don't have the best program historically, but like Stanford, their whole football team's been like STEM kids since World War II. Like,
you do have to look at a couple things though.
To dominate them, like, come on.
Well, the thing is, you're always going to have that one Stanford quarterback that comes out every year and is just an absolute stud. You know, you're looking at your Jim Plunkett's, your John Elways, your Andrew Luck, guys that do come out and can play.
Even like middle tier guys like Kevin Hogan was great.
Yeah, Hogan was a great football player. And then you got your
quarterback.
Well, and then you're looking at, you know, some of the elite running backs. You look in the past 10, 15 years, you got Toby Gerhart, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Taylor, you know, guys who really can play.
It's almost weird they can recruit that pedigree, at least recently. It doesn't surprise me they were able to do that, you know, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But I just think things have changed so much. Like, could you imagine if David Shaw was coaching at like a Clemson or a Florida State? I think the same thing about Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. Because I think Notre Dame and Stanford are the only 2 schools that recruit to their academic standards consistently. Yeah. Like, Washington is a fantastic school academically. I don't think their football team's pulling clean 3 7s in STEM fields consistently. But Notre Dame and Stanford does it every year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's why I'm jacked for Saturday night, man. It's going to be a good way to go home, spend some time with the fam, and hopefully watch us get a big dub.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Delora just tear it up again.
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen, Pettit? Because I know you've probably been Delora's biggest fan since like preseason.
Oh yeah, no, I think he's just gonna do a repeat of against Oregon. I have no disbelief that he won't do it. Like, I have all faith in him that he will put up, you know, 2 touchdowns, maybe even a rushing touchdown. I think he'll probably get 30 yards rushing. To be honest, like he's just going to use his
over. I'll take the over on that.
Take the over on 30.
Are we making bets
right now? I'll take the over on 30 for Jaden.
Yeah, I'll take him over 30.
No, we're in the state of Washington. No bets.
I'll tell you what. Who I like Saturday night is my boy Dion McIntosh. You know, obviously
100-yard rushing, transfer. Over under. Dion, what do you like?
Oh, I'm taking the over. Taking the over for
hammering
sure.
The over. Yeah, hammering the over.
Yeah, I think he might throw it against Stanford a lot. They're big.
Yeah, like, but I mean, you got to look at who we have up front, though. I mean,
big boys in the trenches. I don't know if we want to pound it against them.
I don't know, man. I think you got to look at really where our experience comes in, though. I mean, you got Liam Ryan and Abe Lucas on the O-line, guys who are both very consistent. Abe Lucas is going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. Knock on wood, of course. But I think that's where we really could look to pound.
Rip. It was good while it lasted. Moving on to the non-conference schedule, though. He's going to be frozen.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what we done.
You were frozen for, I don't know, approximately a half hour, Blake. We already moved on.
Yeah.
Love you to death, though. Non-conference schedule. So this is classic Larry Scott. This is the most Pac-12 of Pac-12 things in the history of the Pac-12. They said, we're not going to play football. We're going to be the smart conference. We're going to be safe. We're the smart guys on the West Coast. We're in Silicon Valley. We're smart. We don't play football. We say, actually, we're broke financially. We have our headquarters in San Francisco, going bankrupt, even though Larry...
Because our headquarters are in San Francisco.
Even though Larry's pulling a chill, like, I don't know, $2 million a year, some absurd...
I think it's like salary. 4 or 5.
It's stupid. Whatever it is. If it's more than, like, $90K, it's too much. And then,
I read about the non-conference.
So then we have a season... We have a schedule after they canceled non-con before the schedule, and now they want to go back in the middle of allowing a schedule and bring non-con back in. What are they doing?
Which makes perfect sense, you know? I mean,
like,
these are just things that just continue to make the Pac-12 look bad in the span of Power 5 conferences. We have leadership that doesn't know how to make decisions and stick with them. It makes us look terrible. It's making us like really lose ground, and you wonder if a conference like, is the American Athletic Conference just going to beat us at some point? Like, come on.
I don't know who is ahead of Larry Scott in the Pac-12, to be honest, but whoever his superior is, I would go to the MAC right now, and I'd be like, what does your guy in the MAC make? I don't know, $200K maybe. I'll double that. We'll trade. Seriously.
What I read on that was that all of the ADs in the Pac-12 are on board.
Yeah,
but it's now up to the chancellors and presidents. I don't know if you guys read the article. Yeah, now it's all up to them because it has to go AD, then the AD has to be approved by the chancellors and presidents, and then it goes to like final approval at the Pac-12. But I mean, the interview that it was on, it said that everyone's in agreement on ADs, and there might not even be any non-conference scheduled, but they want to get the approval in case they have to, in cases like Arizona schools and California schools having to cancel games. They want to be able to give everyone games if they can, just because, you know, they never planned for that safety net, which is, you know, very dumb of them.
Yeah. Could you imagine Cal right now? Haven't they had both their games canceled?
I think so. But I mean, you got to think though, too, how would you be able to actually, like, the logistics of like, yeah, we're just going to throw together a non-conference game. Come on, Pac-12, no chance of that happening. There's no chance.
Idaho.
Yeah, we still could, and that'd be awesome. I'd be super down for that. But, I mean, I just don't think you're going to get any good non-conference game unless I know one thing Theo Lawson put out was us trying to play Hawaii. That'd be kind of sweet. Or if you look at BYU trying to get a marquee win to maybe sneak its way into the playoff. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you can always
never
do
let
it.
BYU in the playoffs.
Yeah. We could do it like how the SEC does it. If we're going to do a non-conference game, we just play the neighboring high school and pretend like we're the best school in the country.
We should pull down Central Valley from Spokane. We should take Gonzaga Prep and CV. We should put like betting lines 85.5 for the over/under.
Yeah, we'll play the Riggins school. We'll play them in.
Oh, good.
We'll play 7-man in Idaho. Give us Potlatch and Lapway.
And we'll take them.
Yeah. I just don't understand the non-con thing because it's almost like you put out a good blog the other day, Ryan, where it's like the regret setting in. The conference is making decisions and realizing that they're the odd man out, the run to the litter, last dog to the bull, trying to make up for it. this is almost like this weird thing where they're trying to get out ahead of it, and now they're trying to be on the forefront, which, like, pick a brand. Are you a leader or a follower? Are you listening to what is being told by government and health officials, or are you not? Like, I just don't get it, you know?
At some point, oh,
like football players can't talk to the media in person, but they can go bash their heads into each other, and that's safe. Like, what? Like, it's either safe to play or it's not. Like, pick one.
Yeah.
Well,
at some point you gotta make a decision and stick with it. You can't just go back and forth all the time, you know. And then you're looking at logistics here. I mean, we're getting into December. We played 2 football games. You think we're actually going to schedule more? Come on, that's just not true.
Yeah.
So make your decision, stick with it, and try to make a decision that while you're keeping the health and safety of your players at the forefront, you're also making sure the conference can actually be successful and still relevant at the same time, because that's not happening right now.
The Pac-12 just needs to put their flip-flops away because summer's over. So.
Nonetheless, that's the rundown today. Running through it quickly. Good work today, boyos. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.